Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back. Ryan, are we back?
We're back in
We are
black.
so back. So back. We are back. Many people have told me we are back. Um,
Mm.
I just want to
Many
point out
people,
many
trustworthy
people,
people
trustworthy people, people who have taken the vaccine. I'm just kidding about that. I
in
don't
the
know.
booster.
And no, and the flu shot. Oh my God, I'm really protected against all
All
diseases.
the shots. And their
That
tetanus
being
shot. They got their
said,
tetanus shot.
yeah, we're back though. We are back. The TNR Sports Show is back. We're non-political, even though I do disavow somebody. Who did we disavow? Terrorist, jihad.
Yeah, we just about terrorists,
Yeah.
as we should.
But we are back. I'm excited. We're back with another episode of the TNR Sports Show. We took a little Christmas sabbatical. This episode's going to come out. I don't know, probably on a Wednesday. It's gonna be a Wednesday drop. How about that? And then you won't see another episode from us until next Monday. So we won't be back until next Monday. So we're kind of back. We're halfway
We're
back.
kind of back.
And then we'll probably be sticking to our normal schedule of Monday, Friday. So that's kind of what we're looking at. As I kind of said in the NFL video, if you haven't watched that, I'll link it here to the top right hand corner. I'll have to remember to do that. In the new year, we're going to be covering college sports mainly on this podcast. I think that's kind of what our biggest draw is college sports. So that's kind of what our audience likes, and that's what we like. Anything other than that is going to be on a smaller episode. So we might do like a 15-minute NFL video randomly out of the blue, like just drop on a Tuesday or Wednesday. But the main podcast is always going to come out in the afternoon on a Monday or Friday, Monday or Friday, Monday or Friday. So that's what you're going to be looking for. So you're going to have the main podcast come out on YouTube or Spotify, video version on Spotify. And then that's going to be your college sports recruiting recaps. We're going to try to do some recap videos. I think me and Ryan talked about. We're going to be talking about the playoff, obviously, in this video. We're going to be talking about our teams in Arkansas, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Clemson. We're going to be covering all of that. So that's going to be majority on this episode. In the main podcast. Any shorter video that you see on the channel is probably going to be NFL. Maybe I'll even throw in an NBA or an NHL video once in a blue moon. I doubt it, but you never know. But that's kind of what we're looking at moving forward. I got a lot of stuff planned for the new year. I'm super excited about it. I hope you stay tuned and keep watching the show and keep supporting the channel, like, subscribe, that whole thing. With that being said, oh my God. We're talking about bowl games this week. Bowl games. But
Bowling.
specifically, we're going to break down, I believe, the Alamo Bowl, the Belk Bowl, the Cheez-It Bowl, the Outback Bowl, and the two playoff
The playoff.
bowls, which I believe is the Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl. Am I right about that?
I think it's the peach. I think it's the cotton and the.
Well, the peach would be in Miami.
Oh, you're right. It's
In
the Orange
Miami,
Bowl.
it's
Yeah,
the
cotton
Orange
and
Bowl because
orange.
it's
Yeah,
Miami. The
same
peach
thing.
is not at all. There's an orange and there's a peach. They're totally different. Totally different fruits. Totally different fruits. They don't grow on the same tree, Ryan. I don't know if you knew that. But that's what we're going to do. I want to do our teams at first. So we're going to go in order of the way they're played. And then we're going to cover we're just going to go in order the way they played because actually Arkansas would be last. We'll do our teams and then we'll do the playoffs. And that's where we'll go from there. But first, it does need to be said, COVID is canceling every single one of these games. It seems like there's more being canceled than there are being played. So, with that being said, if you watch this on Wednesday morning and Arkansas, God forbid, gets canceled, or if yada 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 gets canceled, you know,
Don't be shocked.
don't be shocked. Don't be like, oh my God, these guys are fools. We're recording this on a Tuesday at 8:22. I don't have all the updated information about what's going to happen on Saturday. But with that being said, let's roll right into it in order. So that leaves us at the Cheez-It Bowl. Ryan, my biggest question to you. What type of Cheez-Its do you like?
I like the originals. I mean, the originals. They're just the best.
I think I'm a big fan of the. I'm a big fan of the spicy ones.
The
God,
pizza Cheez-Its are pretty good too. I like it.
I think the original is very good too. I would say the spicy and then the
The
original.
original, it's just classic.
Yeah, it just got that classic snap. My grandpa's a big fan of the white cheddar.
Oh, those are good too.
Yeah, the white cheddar. But regardless of that, in the Cheez-It Bowl, you got the Dabo Sweeney Clemson Tigers going against the Matt Campbell Iowa State Cyclones. Is this the matchup of the most disappointing teams of 2021?
Honestly, I think so. Because Iowa State was like,
I think
for
I
some
you
people,
know,
they
yeah,
some people predicted them to go win the Big 12 and make a playoff at the beginning,
sure.
and now they're 7-5.
Iowa State, man. Clemson, you can say a lot about this Clemson season. And Clemson struggled at the beginning of the year. They lost to Georgia, they lost to NC State, and they lost to Pittsburgh. Both of those, all three of those teams ended up being pretty darn good. But if you look at it from perspective, Clemson, rebounded pretty heavily despite the myriad of injuries they had,
Yeah,
and they had a bunch.
yeah.
So
I think going through, honestly, if you look at the injuries and the trials they went through, bad quarterback play for a lot of the early season.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I
horrendous.
think you can say 9-3 is fantastic. Honestly,
Yeah,
like
nine and
that's
three.
best case.
Those boys down in Columbia would kill to be 9-3.
Yeah,
They would murder somebody. Another thing, this year for Clemson, and we'll look at Iowa State, I guess, a little bit. They kind of stink. I don't like talking about them. They're overrated and dumb. But this Clemson year has been a year of tribulation for them. It's been trial after trial. You lose players, your quarterback's not playing that good, your wide receiving core is not that good, the offensive line is playing bad. You take you a while to find your identity. And then at the end of the year, when you kind of look like everything's kind of coming together, Stinking Lincoln leaves Oklahoma to go to USC. And then Britton Venables leaves, and then Tony Elliott leaves. And it's been a year of adversity. I think this game almost for Dabo is personal in a way. Like he looks at it from a perspective of he probably goes into that locker room and they said everybody has doubted us. They have questioned us every step of the way. And yet here we are, like trying to make it like we're still going to be competitive. And we're going to probably whoop this team's ass. You know what I mean? What do you think about that?
I agree. Dabo's definitely going to want to end the season with a win. They have this streak of like winning 10 games. I think goes back to like 2011. They want to keep going, so they have to win this game to get there.
Right.
Um, they're going to be very motivated to win this game. They had no opt outs. None of their players opted out, and they have several players that are going to be drafted in the first round of draft this upcoming year.
It's
They didn't
massive.
opt out, and it's really impressive. And Iowa State did have some opt outs, some big ones too.
Who did Brees
Um,
Hall? Was that his
Brees
name?
Hall, yeah,
He's
Brees
gone.
Hall, who's probably going to be first, second round draft pick.
He's
Um,
gone.
Probably one of the best running backs in college football.
I didn't know that going into it. Clemson might blow this team out, boy.
I know they had a few other opt outs, but
Is Brock Purdy still playing?
he's still playing.
He might come back.
I
He
mean, he
stinks.
might. I mean, he's
Um,
not going to the NFL. So,
has there been any rumors on KJ Henry? Is he staying or is he leaving?
so the rumor is that KJ Henry was probably going to stay, but Xavier Thomas is gone. He's definitely gone.
Yeah. So KJ Henry, they're thinking he's going to stay, and then
Yeah,
Xavier
they're thinking
Thomas.
he might stay. He was recognized on senior day.
But that doesn't
Um,
mean too much. Arkansas has a player that was recognized that they're thinking is going to stay.
yeah, I mean, like,
So it's kind
James
of here or
Charlesky was
there.
recognized last year on senior day, and he still came back. So
Yeah. So
it's kind of
you
up in
just
the air.
kind of wait and see kind of thing. Clemson does have this notorious record of keeping people
And like
past where you think they should.
KJ Henry probably would get drafted, but it'd be like seventh round pick if he comes back. Maybe get back into the fourth, third round draft pick.
Yeah. Brees Hall being out, that's big.
That's
I didn't
huge.
realize that. I didn't realize that. Clemson might go boat race this team. How are they going to move the ball?
Fingers crossed.
They're not going to move the ball at all. How are they going to move it? Brock Purdy can't do anything. He sucks. Brock Purdy couldn't
Uh,
do anything all year against average Big 12 defenses. Now,
I
other than
think
like Baylor and Oklahoma State.
I think you have to look at this game and say Iowa State has a very good defense. Statistically, top 10. So I think they like to put a lot of safeties back. They like to play the three front and then
What was
pack
the
the
score to the
backfield.
Oklahoma Iowa State game? Wasn't that pretty close?
28-21.
So it was fairly close.
I think this game will be close
Maybe.
too.
Oklahoma's offense was weird. That was weird. Y'all were
Yeah,
a
it's
weird
weird.
football team.
Clemson's offense is weird too. So
Yeah, that's very no, they're very weird. But I think they
very.
did find an identity. I think they found an identity of running power football,
Yeah.
with the running backs.
And that's kind of their and that's kind of Iowa
Oh
State's
my God,
weakness is
Kobe
running.
Pace. And what's the other dude? Kobe
Phil
Pace, Will
Shipley
Shipley. What's the other
and
one?
Phil Maffa.
Mafa, yeah, the three-headed dragon there. Um, And I think Clemson didn't have any transfers either. They really do. They really got kind of like a cult thing going up there. They pretty tight on the vest now. I'll tell you what, up in there in Clemson now. They don't let much slip out. They don't let much get in either.
No,
You
but
really
I'm
got to buy into
hoping
the Clemson
Clemson
cult.
will have a pretty good game. I don't really know how many opt-outs Iowa State's having on defense. Um, because they got some good players on defense, Iowa State. I mean,
Sure.
they have a good defense, right? Um, but I expect Clemson to run the ball pretty much the entire game. um, they might do some play actions with DJ, but
Yeah, his knee's
their
kind of
run's
messed
game
up
down.
still. He's probably in the process of getting that healed and such of that nature. But
That's what they were saying. Is he's still working on like healing and getting his mind right. That
I
was
don't
kind of
even. Yeah, he needs to go through therapy. He's probably. I hope he kind of gets it together because now it's going to be even more pressure with old Klubenik like staring you down in the back of your neck. Like, and the Clemson fans after this year are going to be kind of ravenous toward him anyway. They're going to think Clay Kate. I don't know. Well, that's one fight. We'll have to fight another day, but
yeah.
we'll have to
I
fight.
mean,
You'll actually
Dabo's
have to.
going to give DJ the starting opportunity for next year. Like
Well, I
he's
think
going to
they
be the
should
front runner.
compete. That they should absolutely, and that's
Oh, for
why.
sure.
Yeah,
But DJ's going to be the front runner, so it's DJ's job to lead,
I
right?
heard Dabo kind of talk about it, and Dabo was like, I think he didn't really think DJ had a lot of competition going into this year, and now adding
Yeah,
Klubenik.
Tyson was awful.
Yeah, he was bad. Didn't he transfer?
Yeah, he's gone.
Where did he
But
go?
like, he hasn't picked yet.
Oh,
Probably going to UConn or something like that.
that'd be good.
But like every time
That'd be a
Tyson would
massive upgrade for
pass,
them.
dude could not throw the ball. He could run. He was a fast runner, but he could not throw the ball to save his life.
Yeah, he was a bad thrower. Yeah, he was an athlete. That's what he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's my opinion on. There's our opinion on the Cheez It Bowl. I think Clemson. What do we think of final score wise here? I don't know what the
Low
gambling
scoring,
odds are.
low scoring. I would honestly take the under. It's over under is 44. I would take the
What's
under.
the spread?
Clemson minus 2.5.
Closer than I thought. I would
Yeah.
take Clemson minus 2.5. I think Clemson's going to win the game 31 to 14, 31-17, somewhere in that
I'd
range.
say 21
I think
17.
if you look at the Iowa State Iowa game a couple years ago, not a couple years ago, a couple months ago, when they first played each other, I think this is going to be an accurate recreation of that.
Mm.
I think Clemson's just going to play Iowa because Iowa has a good defense Clemson. I would argue Clemson has a far better offense, and Clemson has a bad offense. I think Iowa has a bad
Bad
offense.
offense. Yeah.
So I think Brock Purdy's probably going to make some mistakes, throw some interceptions. I think it's going to be a tough time for him. So, all right, we're going with Clemson. I'm going with Clemson. Clemson all the way. Duh. What do you think? We're going to pick Iowa State? Hell no. All right, who's next on the docking order? Isn't it Oklahoma, Oregon?
Oklahoma, Oregon.
Ryan, what is the percentage this game actually happens?
I think it's 50-50 right now.
Oh God.
There's a lot of people saying that Oregon's going to not play. I guess there's some COVID issues. They haven't
Y'all should
played,
go play NC State.
right? That actually going to be fun. Honestly, I'd
Yeah,
love
that'd be
that.
fun.
I do want to play Oregon though because of the past with Oregon, but
Because of the O's.
sure, yeah,
Oklahoma versus Oregon. Well, states start with the letter O.
I see what you did, but
Kind of like Ohio State. I feel like Ohio State, Oregon, and Oklahoma have to create the O triangle. The O. Oh,
well,
whatever.
Ohio
Move on.
State is. Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't know if Oregon's going to play this game. I think this one could get very. I think it's good chances this one gets canceled.
That'd be terrible. Bob Stoops just said today that he would take a tequila bath at the end of it. And he said his comment was, you see it? He was like, what are
Yep.
they going to do? Fire me? That's funny. I wish I had the kind of balls to do that.
I know. I love Bob Stoops, but it's a weird game because both teams lost their coaches. Both teams are having tons of transfers out because of the loss of coaches.
Some back in. Shout out to Theo. What's his name?
Theo Weeks,
Theo.
yeah.
He
He,
came
I don't
back.
think he'll be playing though, but there's all
He
kinds of
came
just
back.
craziness. Honestly, if this game happens, I think it's a 50-50. Like, I think either team could win this game just because, I mean, everything's just coming through out the window. All your coaches are gone. You've lost several key players on both sides. It's just like anyone could win this game. It's 50-50. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think I'm going with Oklahoma. I'm
Okay.
going with Oklahoma big. No, I don't know about big, but I just think for Oregon, you saw what happened in the Utah game. They just got defeated. They just don't look like a cohesive football team. They struggled against a lot of Pac-12 teams. Um, they had a bad game versus Cal. They got blowed out by Utah twice. They didn't look good. They lost to Stanford. There are a lot of games where they just don't look good, man. They don't look like they have any cohesion. They didn't even look like they wanted to be in the Pac-12 championship game. If you don't want to be in the Pac-12 championship game, then you don't want to be anywhere. I think Oklahoma's going to blow this team out if they play. I think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think
Mm,
Oregon wants to be. If they didn't want to be in the Pac-12 championship game, they're definitely not going to be in the Alamo Bowl. And then,
that's fair.
in a flip of that, I have a lot more respect for Bob Stoops, and I think he'll come up with some kind of weird game plan. And there's also a kind of weird thing when you're a football player and you're sitting there and you got this old legendary coach, and he's done all this legendary stuff at your school, and he's like, they got a statue of the freaking guy, probably, I imagine. And he's like, crazy popular. And he'll go down as one of the greatest college coaches of all time. You're sitting there, you're thinking, like, oh my God, could you imagine if I walk off the field and this guy was like, "Good job, brother," or something like that? Like, how amazing would that feel? So I think he is kind of an X factor almost, big game Bob. And this ain't a big game, so I expect Oklahoma to excel in this in this scene. So I just think Oklahoma. I just think there's too much firepower, too much weapons, too much.
Yeah, I think if everything was still in place, like Lincoln Riley was still there, none of these players opted out.
Oh, y'all would
Mario
definitely boat race
Cristobal
him.
was still
Y'all gonna
there,
boat race him
all that
anyway, but
stuff.
you probably blow him out by 70 instead of 60.
Yeah, I think if Oklahoma was at full strength and Oregon were at full strength, Oklahoma would win. I would say, but
Yeah.
just because there's so much uncertainty, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just hard to say, but I do
I
I
don't
am
think
going to say
so.
Oklahoma win.
I think it's easy to say. The
I'm just
team
going to
that
be
beat
biased.
the Oregon team that beat Ohio State at the beginning of the year is dead and gone. You think them
Yeah,
Oregon players, they've lost their coach. They didn't want to play for him when he was there. You think they're going to show up for some random game in
offensive
Texas
coordinator's
when you're
gone, and
probably Oklahoma fans are going to swamp that place?
yeah, it's in Alabama or
They don't
San
even want to
Antonio.
play, man. They're about to call COVID. Oh, no, I'm not going to
Be
say what I was about to
hilarious.
say. I want to get canceled there. Regardless of that, I just think Oklahoma's going to win. I think they're going to win big, big, big.
I
Especially
hope you're
Caleb
right.
Williams is playing. They don't even care no more, man. Oregon don't care.
I hope you're right.
All right, there's your Alamo Bowl. Shout out to Davy Crockett. Did he die in the Alamo?
Yeah.
Okay, I was right about that. I was wondering if I got the right pioneer in there. All right. Done with the Alamo Bowl. We're moving on. We're moving on to my favorite bowl, the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Mm,
I wish
mm.
Arkansas was in this bowl. It would be the best bowl. The winner.
Arkansas versus Clemson.
Oh, that would have been sweet. The winner of this coach of whoever wins this battle, the coach that wins this battle, will have Duke's mayo dumped all over them at the end of the game. Ryan, what do you think?
I love it.
Will it kill Mac Brown?
I think Mac Brown would love it. I think he would swim in it.
Oh
Honestly,
my God.
dude's insane.
Shane Beamer came out today and said, I don't like mayonnaise that much. But if they throw it on me, it means we won the football game. So I don't care. They can throw it on me. I was like, that's true. That's a good point.
Mac Brown was like, "You can hit me in the face with a frying pan as long as we win."
Oh, is that what he said?
That's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Hit me face with a damn frying pan, whatever.
So I hope Mac Brown wins. They hit him in the face with the frying
Oh
pan.
my God, that would kill him, dude. That'd kill
That
him.
would kill him.
Oh my God. They like the cartoons when you get hit in the head with a frying pan and actually live. That's not how life works.
No.
What do you think of this game? This game, whew, I think this game would be the battle of an overachieving team in South Carolina versus an underachieving team with lofty expectations that were probably set too high.
Yeah.
Considering, I don't give teams a lot of wiggle room when they kind of suck. In North Carolina, they're not getting, too much crap. But I just think Mac Brown made a good point kind of in the middle of the year when they were like, what are you struggling? You were ranked, yada, yada, yada. And he was like, listen, I ain't want me who ranked us. They lost a lot, man. And the fact, they're here. What are they, 7-5 or 6-6?
6-6.
Oh my God, that's bad. They got some bad losses. Didn't they lose to Georgia Tech like
Yeah.
blowout?
Blowout. Yeah.
Man. Sam Howell's a good quarterback. all year I would have said, "Oh, it's going to come down to Sam Howell," but I guess it only came down to Sam Howell 6 times. We actually made big difference. So,
I mean, they would have been a lot worse without Sam Howell.
oh my
They
God,
would
they
have
would
been
have been
like
like
3-0.
bottom of the SAC, bottom of the ACC without Sam Howell.
Yeah.
But I think I just think it'd be too much for South Carolina to deal with, especially with the fact that they have no quarterback. Zeb Nolan is starting. I don't know. What do you think?
It's Sam Howell. I think it's awesome that he didn't opt out. He's going to be playing in this game, and I think that's the X factor. Sam Howell's probably going to be the best quarterback in the draft, this upcoming draft class, which isn't saying a whole lot, but
Yeah,
he's a very good quarterback. Um, and
I'm trying
South
to think of
Carolina isn't over.
who's in the draft class this year. Is
Kenny
there anybody?
Pickett, that Liberty get kid.
Yeah, next year will be the year, but
I don't know about that, but
you'll
I
have
think
Bryce Young. People will be
last year
clamoring
was
for
the year.
him.
Last year was the
Yeah,
year.
last year was the year.
Um,
Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, other people that I don't remember. Mac Jones,
Mac Jones, the Trey
Trey
Lance.
Lance from North Dakota State University. Yeah, where Zeb
Yeah, there were a
Nolan was at,
couple.
right? But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Um, South Carolina's overachieved. They're lucky to
That's
beat.
for certain.
They shouldn't have beat Auburn. They probably shouldn't
Well,
have
I
beat.
don't know. They should have. Auburn stinks. Auburn's bad. Auburn lost to Houston today. They suck. I can't believe Arkansas lost to them. God, it's one of the worst losses. We caught him
But
at the
I
right time,
mean,
wrong time, I reckon.
they shouldn't have beat East Carolina. They probably shouldn't have even beat Vanderbilt for Pete's sake. They shouldn't have beat Florida. I don't know how that happened.
Well, Florida just stopped caring, and then
They just stopped caring.
yeah,
But
we'll have to do. We'll definitely have to do like a recap on this season and go
yeah,
through the wild roller coaster that some of these teams went on.
oh for sure. South Carolina played the right teams at the right time, and they got their wins. Right. Like if they played Auburn and Florida earlier in the season, they would have gotten blown out. But North Carolina, I think they're just going to be too. Like North Carolina's a good team. They got good players and they're well coached. South Carolina's lost their two best quarterbacks in Doty and Brown. Brown's opted out and transferring. We got Zeb Nolan, who I think Zeb Nolan's been decent. I guess. I mean,
He
I
win.
I, I just can't see it. I think North Carolina's going to win. I think they're going to win by a big margin. Sorry. I think
I
UNC
can see it. South Carolina loves winning these types of games.
UNC is the second most favorite team in all of the bowl
I think UNC is going to
calendar.
win, but I don't think it's going to be like a blowout or anything. I think
I
it's
don't
going to
think
be
it's going to be a
close,
blowout, but I think they'll win by a fair margin.
like 14, maybe
Yeah, like
10.
14, 17.
Yeah, I don't know, man. South Carolina, we've doubted them all year. I have said repeatedly, and I will stand by this. This is by far the worst South Carolina team we have seen in a long time. And the fact that they are in a bowl game is nothing short of remarkable. Will friggin' Muschamp would have had him like 1-5, 1-2, 1-11 or something like that. You know what I mean? So, I just think it's I think it's impressive. They're obviously a program on the rise. If you would have told me that a couple of weeks ago, I told you you're nuts. Once they had the recruiting day, and it seems like there is forward momentum going that direction for them, and they should be. There's no reason South Carolina. I'm not a big Gamecock guy, but there's no reason they should be bad in every sport other than women's basketball. I know women's basketball is cool and everything, but there's no reason they should be bad in basketball. They have money, man. They got people pouring
They
them
have
money.
great facilities, and
Yeah, they have like
they have
some of the
great
best
coaches.
facilities. I would argue they might be better than Clemson's.
Not in
Um,
football.
Not in football, probably. I don't know, man. Have you seen some of their stadiums? Well, I
I mean,
saw some when we had played football. When I played football, man, it was nice then.
I've seen Clemson. Clemson's. I mean,
Yeah,
Clemson
Clemson's got
upgraded
nice ones too.
in
Oh,
recent before like 2015. Carolina had better facilities. I will say that.
yeah, that's probably what I.
But like
That's
once
when I
Clemson
last saw
started
it.
winning national championship, that will change.
Yeah, the money kind of
They
came
have
rolling in. But even then, man, you still have. I mean, even though they're not nice as Clemson's like a top like 5 program in the country
yeah.
majority of the time. So it's hard to compare. You got nicer facilities probably than maybe
I'd say South Carolina has some of the
half of the
nicest facilities.
SEC. But that's kind of hard.
Yeah,
Not even hard to say
I
though.
would say more than half.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they got nice stuff, and they've got a lot of money. I think a lot of the blame for South Carolina's failures goes on Ray Tanner. That's just kind of my opinion. I think he's kind of.
I think a lot of Carolina fans agree with you there.
But I would also say in the same thing, would you hire a guy like See, Frank Martin for the basketball program, you could argue, well, that was a good hire because he had so much success at Kansas State, and he has had success at Carolina.
Final Four.
Yeah, but recently, it's not been that good. I think they are doing okay this year. But on the
Yeah,
flip side of that, Will Muschamp, I said it. Me and my grandpa talked the day he was hired, and I said that's a terrible hire. And you look at recruiting as the only reason. At Florida, you get almost whatever you want, man. Florida, you get whatever you want recruiting wise. You can get whatever you want. But on the flip side of that, he couldn't win with Florida recruits. What makes you think he's going to win with South Carolina style recruits? You're not going to recruit the level you are at Florida at South Carolina. It's just not the way it works. If you can't win at Florida, what makes you think you're going to win at South Carolina? And then, and obviously he wasn't the right fit. Obviously I knew that. I could have told you that. But with that being said, Shane Beamer obviously looks like a great hire. It seems like so far he's bringing in the talent. He's overachieved. He's won the games that he should have won. He didn't lose much that he should have lost. I mean, he lost what he should have lost, but overall, you're
There's
not
one
beating.
game he shouldn't win.
Yeah, he won games he shouldn't have won. That's a good point. He shouldn't have beat Auburn. He shouldn't have beat
Florida.
Florida. Yeah, he blew out Florida. Florida kind of was crashing at that point, but still, I mean, he shouldn't have beat him.
Still, I mean,
they blew out Tennessee. Now, if Tennessee played Florida blew out Tennessee. Now, if Tennessee played the Florida at the end of the season, that they would have, they would have blown them out. But that's here or there. You were almost there. You were a couple plays away from beating Missouri. I mean, overall, this year has been a success for Carolina fans. This year has been and there are people at South Carolina fans who are still not happy with what's going on. They're mad that the offensive coordinator is still hired. I think a lot of people, especially now we live in this ADHD kind of era, which, I can't say too much about it, but we do live in this kind of like, you know what I'm talking about? And people don't give people time to give a chance. Now, when you have someone like Chad Morris, who's obviously so bad and is catering a football program, kick his ass out of town. But when you have someone like, you gotta give it a minute, man. When you're losing North Texas and San Jose State, your offense had no quarterback. What do you want the offensive coordinator to do? He can go out there and play the game. Yeah, no quarterback. Imagine you going out there, or anybody in the audience going out there and playing quarterback. That's pretty much what Carolina had. Carolina had that guy playing quarterback all year.
No and they still won. They got to the bowl.
You won 6 games. That's better than you had done previous years. So, big win. I just don't know. What's the spread again for the North Carolina?
9.5.
9.5.
Carolina. North Carolina.
I would say Carolina probably covers, but I should say North Carolina still wins.
So I mean, I think it's awesome that they even made a bowl game. Like at the beginning of the season,
you should carry that.
Everyone was saying they're probably not going to make a bowl game. They're going to stink. They're going to win a couple games. I think we were going to say they're going to win 3 or 4 games at the beginning of the season, and they won 6.
Yeah.
You're going to get better. I mean, your quarterback's improving. You bring in Spencer Rattler, who's
you got that good tight end
better than what you have. And
that tight end you got from Oklahoma is probably like the best receiver you're going to have on the roster.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I think Rattler's probably the best quarterback you've had since Connor. What's his last name?
Shaw.
Yeah.
Dylan Thompson was pretty good for South Carolina.
No, he was not.
Yeah, he was. He's like they're like third best quarterback of the decade.
Dylan Thompson.
I'm telling you, man. You look it up.
Dude was he had
I think they rank him Connor Shaw. That dude that beat Alabama.
Stephen Garcia.
Yeah, and then Dylan Thompson. Now, that's not saying much. They had nobody. Jake Bentley, maybe. You could say Jake Bentley was maybe better. Connor Shaw was he's definitely the best quarterback since Connor Shaw. I agree with that.
Rattler is, I would say, the second best.
Probably. If we're being, I don't know, legend-wise, Connor Shaw will always probably have it over Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler is the best quarterback Carolina's probably ever had. If we're being honest. He'll probably be the highest rated. He'll probably be the best thrower, the best runner. He'll be the best of everything. I don't know a time where they've had better.
No.
There's probably somebody's probably going to be, but I don't remember.
I mean,
especially not this decade. Like,
was a
I'm just
five
talking like
star.
pure
Yeah,
talent wise. I would say Spencer
Spencer
Rattler's
Rattler's
probably
best.
the best quarterback they've had
Oh,
in
by
since
far.
at least Steven Garcia era. That's when I started watching college football. So that's when college football history starts for
Talent wise, Rattler's the best they've ever had. I mean, talent wise, Rattler's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Like,
me. Yeah. I mean,
it's
he's a
just
good quarterback.
he has some problems. I don't think he studies.
He'll be the king of the castle of Carolina.
Oh, he'll be
You know,
great.
he'll be king of the castle. So he won't have to worry about Caleb Williams' chance in the middle of an Oklahoma game. So he won't have to worry about
They're
any
gonna
of that.
bring Zeb Nolan back for next year.
Oh my God, that guy just needs to go eat a
They
burrito.
might actually.
That guy needs to go eat a burrito somewhere and be a coaching assistant graduate. I think he ran out his time. I don't think he has any more time left.
I don't know. He might. I don't know.
I would be done with it, dude. Give me a time to get fat and drink beer and coach football. That's what I would say if I was at Nolan. Yeah, I've done what I can. Like Perry Orth, I've done what I can. Um, all right, that's the end of that. South Carolina, we're going with UNC. I just think UNC's got too much. All right, Spencer Rattler in there yet? All right. Speaking of overachievers, let's talk about them Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas versus Penn State in the Outback Bowl, the Bloomin' Onion Bowl. Ryan, do you like bloomin' onions?
I love Luminarians.
I like bloomin' onions too. All right, here we go. Arkansas, Penn State, Sean Clifford versus KJ Jefferson. Penn State's favorite, I believe. That's correct.
No, Arkansas's favored by one.
Oh my God, Penn State was favored early in the week. I wonder if they had somebody get COVID or something. I'm pretty excited about it. First time I've seen Arkansas in a bowl game in a couple of years, only 5. We did make a bowl game last year, but it got canceled. Iowa got COVID. God, history repeats itself. We don't learn from our history. We're doomed to repeat it. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true with COVID. Arkansas, I'm looking forward to it, man. No Traylon Burks, but other than that, we're going to be pretty up to date with everybody. Our transfers were minimal. They're for players who did play, and they suck. So I'm super excited about it. I obviously think Arkansas is going to win. It's going to be a bunch of guys looking to prove a point. They had a great year. They had a great season. Penn State, disappointed. Thought they were going to achieve more. I think that's going to affect them in this game. They're not probably going to play as hard. I think James Franklin is a cocky asshole. So I think he's going to think that he should be in a better bowl than the Outback Bowl. So I think Arkansas is going to win pretty handily. I think KJ Jefferson and um, uh, all those guys. Oh my God, I'm blanking on most of their names. It's been a couple weeks since I've watched Arkansas football. Rocket Sanders and all those guys.
Traylon Smith.
Smith, thank you.
Yeah.
And all those
Bumper
guys.
Pool.
Bumper Pool and Grant Morgan and Henry guy. So Hayden Henry. So I'm pretty excited about it. Monteric Brown's going to be good. You know, Joe Fouché announced he's coming back, and then Jalen Catalon's coming back too. So that's all going to be good stuff for us. Ryan, what do you think about the Arkansas Penn State matchup? Razorbacks versus Lions. First time we've ever played in history.
Oh wow. I think that Arkansas is the better team.
Ooh.
I just don't see Penn State winning this game. They don't really have that great of a like their best player is the wide receiver, and Hassan Dotz is fantastic. He's one of the best receivers in the country. He'll probably get drafted if he goes to the NFL, like high draft. Sean Clifford sucks. He's not a good quarterback.
He's coming back.
Penn
Penn State
State.
fans were not happy.
I would
The
be.
guy announced in his
Awful.
profile, I was reading the comments. Sean Clifford came and said, I'm coming back. And everybody in the comments was like, please don't. Please go away.
Yeah, he's not good. They don't really have like a good running back, which is something they normally rely on in years past. I just don't really see Penn State doing. I don't
I
see
think
it
they have a
winning.
pretty good defense. I think that's what a lot of people are betting on them. Didn't their defense coordinator get hired by somebody, though? Virginia Tech, right?
Yeah, and then they hired Manny Diaz. Um,
Is he
but
probably,
Manny
he might,
Diaz won't be coaching this game.
you don't think so?
No, it'll be like a defensive line coordinator, something like that.
If I was James Franklin, I'd throw him in there. Screw it.
Right.
What else would you have to
Um,
lose?
I think
Make it work.
Arkansas will do pretty well. I think they'll win this game. I don't see them losing it.
You know, fun fact for you: no staff turnover for Arkansas. Not one left.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
Pittman seems to think it's going to hold. So I was surprised Kendall Briles didn't leave. I think he likes Arkansas. A lot of these coaches have kids, man, that are like in a weird age where it's kind of tough to pull them out of high school. See, that was the thing with Barry Odom. Barry Odom has a kid in high school, And a lot of people in Arkansas are saying he's not going to leave unless it's some stellar job. But he's not going to leave until the kid graduates high school. So,
That's
I
awesome.
don't know. That's hearsay, though. I'll take him as long as we can get him.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I think Arkansas, when you look back on Arkansas, we kind of, I guess we're doing a little recap episode along with the bowl game. But if you kind of look back on Arkansas season, a lot of highs, a lot of lows. That Ole Miss game, I broke my freaking TV from it. Not my TV, but my TV countertop. I smashed it to pieces. There have been a lot of good moments. There's been a lot of bad moments. Auburn, kind of tough in Alabama where kind of went a rope to rope with them. And, it was overall, talk about overachiever. Do you want to talk about South Carolina overachieving? Talk about them Arkansas Razorbacks going 8-4 when everybody thought we were going 5-7 or 6-6.
Yeah.
That's overachieving. KJ Jefferson, they 24/7 ranked KJ Jefferson the worst quarterback in the SEC. The SEC. I'm talking about like Vanderbilt in South Carolina. Had no quarterbacks at Vanderbilt or South Carolina. They ranked him the worst quarterback in the SEC. Turns out they were wrong.
Very wrong.
I mean, he's the I think other than maybe Bryce Young, he leads the SEC in rushing and throwing combined.
I would think the Ole Miss guy probably
Oh yeah, he did run a lot, but he kind of stopped running once
Corral.
he got hurt. Matt Corral. I don't know. It was close though between the two. Um, but I think KJ Jefferson, Traylon Burks is gone. That hurts, but I think overall we'll be fine. You got to move on eventually, so why not now? Sam Pittman. The rumor is in Arkansas. They told him Sam Pittman told him to kick rocks, not kick rocks, but like advised him to just leave the bowl. And that's something. You never hear that too much. The coach actually being like, no, don't play.
We're moving on.
Yeah. I don't think
But
they're
yeah, I
moving
mean,
on. They just protect his knee. It shows like how much he cares about the players. A little too much, if you ask me.
I think that I mean it's going to be a. I mean, you look at Arkansas' schedule, and they had a
it's
very
been
tough
pretty
schedule.
it's been pretty
They
hard,
beat a
that's for sure.
lot of good teams that they probably shouldn't have beaten. Texas A&M. When they beat Texas at the time, you could now look at Texas.
I think Texas kind of quit
Oh,
after that Oklahoma game. They were like, whatever.
I think so. I think they quit after the Oklahoma State game, which was right after the Oklahoma game because they were beating them. They came back.
Yeah.
Usual stuff. But like Arkansas almost beat Bama this year. I mean, they had some great wins. They beat all their
They're the
rivals,
closest Bama game since Brett Bielema had that game, whenever.
right?
So
So great season for Arkansas. A lot to build on, and I think they're going to beat Penn State by 2-3 touchdowns.
yeah, I think that'll be fun. One thing I want to mention though, Arkansas. If you look at the Hogs, and you look at everything we have accomplished, did you know that Sam Pittman had this lady? I don't remember her name, like Jamie something, was his agent. He fired her and hired Jimmy Sexton as his agent. Did you know that?
I don't know who that is.
That's the big agent in college football that all the major coaches have. You really don't know who that is? It's kind of a big deal in college football. I would look it up. But he left, and he's looking for a raise. What do you think about this? So he's making 3 million right now, or 3.5. He wants to go to 7.5. Do you think he's worth
I
seven and
mean,
a half?
maybe not 7.
Yeah, I was thinking
That's
like
that's getting
5.
like Dabo Sweeney.
Lane Kiffin makes 7.5 at Ole Miss. I would say he's worth it though because Ole Miss had their first 10-win season ever.
Yeah,
Can you believe that? That's insane.
they've won national championships
They have?
like the 50s, but yeah.
Oh, well, what are you gonna do? All right, there you go. That's your end of Arkansas discussion. Woo pig.
Big.
Let's go to the playoff. All right, let's start with the kind of the lower tier playoff game. Fun fact, Ryan, there have never been 2 competitive semifinal games in the playoff history ever.
I believe
It's
it.
not been around that long, but there's been one. Usually you get one good semifinal, and most of the time you get 2 blowouts. I
I
don't
would
think
say 2017 was pretty close. Because Oklahoma, Georgia went to OT, and then Clemson and Alabama played close until Kelly Bryant threw 2 picks.
yeah. I guess they would look at it as a final score blowout.
Yeah,
But anyway, let's start kind of low with the lower T. What I think will probably end in a blowout, I imagine. You're gonna get Alabama versus the Cincinnati Bearcats, 1 versus 4. Cincinnati does match up well with Alabama all year. And I heard this guy talk about this today. All year, we got this version of Alabama that was inconsistent at best. They played well against certain teams. You look at there's multiple examples. Texas A&M game, obviously. The Arkansas game, the LSU game, the Auburn game. There have been multiple examples this year. The Florida game. There have been multiple examples of them like not being that good this year. And what you got in that Georgia game was not what Alabama has been all year. Now, Alabama probably hated being disrespected, probably got mad, and yada, yada, yada. I don't think Cincinnati can win. I believe the spread's minus 14. I do think they can stay within the points. I think they make it close until late in the fourth quarter where Alabama pulls away. Wins by 2 touchdowns, probably. So, wins by 10 points. What do you think? You think Cincinnati can keep it close?
I think they can keep it close because they have a really good defense, honestly. But Bama's just going to be too tough. They just have too much right now, even
I think
without like John Mechie and
Yeah, I was about to
whatnot.
say the John Mechie loss seems like it might hurt them pretty badly.
But he's not even their best receiver. It's that this is Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, that's probably been the best receiver all year in any team, really.
Yeah.
Um, I don't see Bama losing to this team. I think if Bama played Michigan,
Yeah,
that would
maybe.
be something I could say. Okay, Michigan might have a chance to upset it as long as the Bama we saw against Georgia doesn't show up.
Sure.
But Cincinnati, I think it'll be 3-4 touchdown win for Bama.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I think Cincinnati can kind of keep it close. It just depends on what version of Alabama you're going to get. I just don't think the version that Georgia played in the SEC championship is the consistent Alabama that we've seen all year. I think they have flaws and weaknesses.
I mean,
You
that was
know,
the best we've seen out of
I mean,
Alabama
how in
all
the
year.
world did Auburn almost beat them? If that guy would have stayed in bounds, they would have won that game. That's insane to think how bad Auburn is.
Yeah,
And that TJ
they
Finley couldn't
lost
even
today.
move in
They
the
lost to
pocket.
Houston today.
Yeah, they lost to Houston. They're terrible. And they almost beat Alabama. I just think if Cincinnati somehow gets a couple turnovers and faces the worst version of Alabama, they can win the football game. Texas A&M beat them. Heck, Zach Calzada beat them, and I think Desmond Ritter's way better than Zach Calzada.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think obviously Cincinnati's there. They're undefeated. They've lost one game in 2 years. They could easily win this game. They played Georgia very close last year.
Yeah,
And that was when JT Daniels was playing.
true.
So I think Cincinnati has a shot. Don't be surprised if they do have a shot, but don't expect them to have a shot.
Sure. Yeah. Well, all right. What do you think final score wise? What are we thinking?
Like 35-14.
35-14. I could see it being like that. I'm going to go with 28-17. 28-17, Alabama.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Last but not least, Michigan, Georgia,
Gotcha.
Orange Bowl, Miami, Michigan, Georgia. 2 versus 3. Ryan, no JT Daniels, COVID. Stetson Bennett is the starter. What do we think?
Just because of that, I'm actually picking Michigan to
I'm
win.
picking Michigan as well. I'm going with the
I
Wolverines.
Stetson Bennett is not a good quarterback. I hate to say it. Georgia, I mean, you look at the SEC. Oh, everyone says, "Oh, the SEC is so hard, so hard." They had probably one of the
The
easiest
SEC East is really bad.
schedules in the SEC. You didn't play Texas A&M. You played Bama in the championship and got blown out. You didn't play LSU. I know LSU hasn't been good in the last 2 years, but still.
They had the
Yeah.
easy schedule. They didn't have to go through the SEC. I see what you're saying. There is a rhyme. People say, "Oh, the SEC West wasn't that good this year." There's a rhyme or reason when you play Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Auburn, Mississippi State, Alabama, and LSU back to back to back. It's kind of difficult. That's
You
not
played none of
easy.
those teams. You played Auburn.
And you played
Uh,
Arkansas at home.
you played Arkansas. Yeah.
It was not good for us. We were not ready for that game.
Yeah. Anyways. But yeah, Stetson Bennett is not a good quarterback. He couldn't get done against Alabama. He never has. He's played them twice and got blown out by the exact same score both times. Michigan has a very good defense. And I know Georgia does too, but
Yeah, Georgia's defense, I think, is going to be X factor.
I also look at Michigan and I know that they have a fantastic offensive line,
They
probably one of the
do.
best in the country. They have an excellent offensive line. All those Big Ten teams do.
Right.
Um, I think that's huge for Michigan. Um, I think it's going to be super low scoring. It's going to be a close defensive game
Right.
because I don't really think either team's going to be able to score a
I
whole
think it's
lot.
going to be like Georgia Clemson was at the beginning of the year, like
I
ten
think so
six or
too. Maybe
whatever,
a little higher scoring,
maybe 13-10.
something like that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I,
it's
I
going
think
to be low
I think they're going
scoring.
to win. I think they're going to win.
I just don't think Georgia, Michigan's got a good team, man. Michigan's got a good defense. And that's one thing that's going to be a little undervalued in this is, I think Georgia can score. I think Alabama's got a good defense too, and Georgia did. How many points did Georgia put up?
24, 24.
Yeah, I mean they had a lot of bad plays. Sensen Bennett made a lot of dumb decisions. He's kind of done that all year. If you look at a lot of the games they played,
It's not great.
even against Florida, he made some bad throws. I mean, I don't know, man.
He got bailed out by his defense.
Yeah, he did because Anthony Richardson in that Florida game threw 2 interceptions to put put Georgia in plus territory. And Stetson Bennett threw a bad interception in that game, but it just happened to be on the right side of the football for right side of the line for him.
That was a close game until Anthony Richardson
He
threw
just
that
had
pick.
his complete meltdown. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think I feel bad. I feel bad. I feel bad for JT Daniels. I don't know if the intention was for him to start. I know he is in Miami, and I don't believe he's going to start.
He's not. That's Bennett starting.
Yeah, so I just don't think it's tough.
If JT Daniels was starting, I would say Georgia all the way. I would say Georgia's going to win this game. Georgia's going to win the national championship.
I
But
think I think Alabama just exposed a lot of flaws that team had.
yeah, I think Georgia's secondary is weak, but they've never really had to have it exposed because they haven't really played anyone
Yeah, I heard
that
a
can.
lot of people say that over the year, and I was like, "Ah, that don't matter." Georgia played Tennessee, and they didn't really, I think it actually mattered. I can't believe that I'm admitting that, but at the time, I heard people complain Georgia hadn't played a good offense. I was like, "There's not a lot of good offenses in the country," but if Georgia had to play like an Ohio State or now the one caveat of this game that I think we're not mentioning that well is I do think Michigan's quarterback.
Not
He's
great.
not he's not good either. But
That's why I
Hassan
think it's going to be
Haskins
low
is
scoring.
very good. So if they can run the ball, see the problem is Georgia's really, really, really good at stopping the run. Like really good at it. So that guy's gonna have to make a couple throws at some point in the game.
That's why I think it's going to be like slow scoring. Like if Michigan
Georgia's
had a good
defense is definitely Georgia's defensive line is a little better than what you call its defensive line, Ohio State's.
Ohio
That's for
State,
sure.
and it's like Ohio State's offense was Michigan's offense, I'd be saying Ohio State by mile
But I also
because
saw it Iowa had a pretty good defense, and you saw what happened there.
yeah, that's true. They got beat up.
I think it's kind of different, obviously, but
Yeah,
I don't think I don't think Iowa
Georgia has a
gained a
better.
first down. I think Georgia's going to have better
I
ball
mean,
players.
I mean, Ohio State has a good defense too. And
They weren't
you
that
look at the
good. They
last
had
two
a
games.
lot of holes over the
I
time.
mean, yeah, but it's still a very good defense. And then Iowa's supposedly one of the better defenses, and
Are
they put up.
are there a statement of how many good defenses are how good Iowa's defense was, or how many bad offense they played in the Big Ten West, and then Penn State, had a bad
Well, it's
offense. I
even
don't know.
like that. We're like because Iowa held like Iowa State. I mean, that's you know, I don't know.
I don't know, man. Oh, we'll see what happens. This game's kind of an anomaly. I wouldn't be shocked if either team won. I'm not. I guess I don't think I'll probably pull for Michigan because my buddy's a Michigan fan, so I'll probably be pulling for Michigan. But that's here or there. Then I'm going to be pulling for Michigan most likely. But I don't care if either team wins. I think it's one way or the other for me. I
Yeah,
just don't want to see Alabama win again. Gross. Wouldn't it be funny if Cincinnati won?
I would love that.
A Cincinnati Michigan final. Oh God. A Cincinnati
That
Georgia
would make
final,
my
that would
heart so
suck.
happy.
A
No, I just
Cincinnati Georgia final would be boring. I think a Cincinnati Michigan final would be funny. I think you're gonna, if I had to put a bet on it, what I actually thought was gonna happen, you're gonna get an SEC championship final.
I
That's
think
what I
so
think is
too.
actually gonna happen. But
I think it's very
I
possible.
think
However,
Michigan
it'd be
could
so
win.
awesome if Michigan could make the finals.
I think it would be too. Ohio State would hate that. Oh my God, they would hate that if
Oh my
Michigan.
gosh, they'd be crying.
Oh my God, Ohio State would be
They're so
no.
hard to
And
beat.
now if Michigan lost to Alabama, oh my God, the biggest party would they wouldn't even party that hard in Tuscaloosa. Their biggest party would be in Dagum, Ohio State, Columbus. They'd be burning down buildings, flipping cars there in Columbus. What are you gonna do?
What are you
Well,
gonna do?
all right, there you go. There's your Dom TNR Sports Show.
There
What do
you
you think,
go.
Ryan?
Very happy.
Thank you. I'm very happy. I should also mention tragedy. John Madden passing away. Very sad. I was devastated to hear it. It happened right before the recording of this podcast. Shout out to the legend. I always loved playing those Madden games when I was a little kid.
Mm.
So I want to shout out him out. All right. That's the end of the episode. Ryan, thanks for doing this with me. I appreciate it. 1 year down. By the
You're
time you will
down.
see us again, it will be another year.
Crazy.
Crazy. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching the TNR Sports Show, the TNR Sports Show. Like and subscribe. Like, what do they got to do, Ryan?
Like and subscribe
Like and subscribe. Like
and
the video.
comment.
Comment, everybody. Comment. Talk with you later. What's up, everybody? I promised you an ad in the middle of the episode, so here's your ad. Um, Thanks for all your support. There is no ad. I don't have any advertisers. But what we do have is a show that we were trying to promote. So we got, college football's over now. We're going to be moving forward. We've got NFL content coming your way. We're going to have college basketball content's going to be picking up. Coaching carousel stuff's going to be picking up. So be watching out for that. It's on Spotify. If you want on Spotify, there's a video version of that you can see on Spotify, and you can see and you can listen to it audio as well on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts. I believe we release YouTube. Um, we're on YouTube, obviously. I'm thinking about uploading clips all over, just get some traction on the pod, and we'll see how we go from there. So I just wanted to thank everybody for watching the TNR Sports Show. And it does mean a lot to me. It means a lot to Ryan. We're both massive fans. We like college football. That's why I do this. We don't get a lot of views. We don't get a lot of likes and clicks, but we do. I appreciate all the support that we get. So I do thank y'all for that. So if you want to interact with us, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, TNR Hog. A lot of the stuff's in the description where you can find our socials. So thanks for your support. I really do appreciate it. Go TNR, go Hogs. This is TNR Sports Show.